pour one out. It's so sad. The Dodgers have destroyed baseball. They've signed Roki Sasaki. How dare they? This is fantastic. My name's Ryan Bergier. She's Monse Bolaños. He's Beau Benson. This is the Sick Podcast, The Dodger Zone. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Dodger Zone.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
It's gonna be sick.
And keep this party going. I mean, the Dodgers have followed up their most majestic calendar year, of course, signing Shohei Ohtani, winning the World Series, and then following that up with their second best offseason in Dodgers history. Now to add amazing 23-year-old phenom from Japan, Roki Sasaki, to go alongside Shohei Ohtani. Like, this is incredible. This is guys, what are you feeling? What are you feeling?
I'll go first.
You go.
My favorite word in another language is Schadenfreude, which is joy in the misery of others. So, like, I've been thinking a lot today about how I would approach this specifically because I was pretty confident that this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think what I've decided on is, I think our favorite show on the network, they love to reference Marvel movies. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. For the San Diego Padres, Roki Sasaki was like Thanos getting the last Infinity Stone for them. That was their great triumph. That was their moment. And for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Roki Sasaki is that drawer of Infinity Stones in Loki that don't do anything, but it's so nice to have. That is what this is. Like, Roki Sasaki is a great signing. Perfect, wonderful. I love it. It's great. The Dodgers did not need Roki Sasaki this year at all. No, they don't. Their season is not reliant on Roki Sasaki. AJ Preller mentioned Roki Sasaki at Peter Seidler's eulogy, like in his eulogy. He talked about Roki Sasaki, and they came in third. They were probably a distant third because of how weird AJ Preller was about signing Roki Sasaki. So, thank God the Diamondbacks swept the Dodgers 2 years ago, because if that's what we had to go through to get to this, then I'd do that 100 times out of 100 times. Because this is just funny at this point.
Yeah, I think funny is a way to put it for sure. I'm really glad. You guys know me. I hate how much they squeeze the juice out of stories. I'm just like, I'm so over it. We knew he was probably going to come to the Dodgers, but every day there's 10,000 tweets. Oh, maybe it's the Padres. Maybe he's going to Toronto. Y'all, I'm tired. So the first thing, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad that we know what we all expected, which was that he was going to join the Dodgers. Finally, because I hate how much the juice is squeezed in these stories. But like, yeah, like people out there, like they're ruining baseball. It's like, that's not it at all. I have been, very pro dynasty. And this is coming from a Clippers fan who has never won. So it's not because my teams win. I'm just very pro dynasty. I actually think it's really great for sports because it makes you either love or hate a team, and that's part of the fun, right? So if there is a dynasty, which I think is exactly what the Dodgers are trying to do here, it's not ruining baseball, in my opinion. And anyone who says that, it's just like, you're just mad. And it's okay that you're mad, but don't lie and say that the sport is being ruined. Admit that you're just mad that the Dodgers get whatever they want. The rich get richer. Be mad about that. That is true. The sport is not being ruined. If it's true, then don't go to any games. If you truly feel that, then don't go to a game. And you know what? You're going to be at every Dodger game. You're going to go see, because the Dodgers have a lineup of pitchers that whoever they go play, you're going to show up to watch them. And you're going to be mad, and that's fine. But you're going to show up.
That's if I was not a Dodger fan, that's how I would feel. I would be mad. I would not like this team. I would not like what's going on because obviously they're stacked. They're loaded. They're setting up contracts in a way that's insanely advantageous to them, where they can continue to add guys like this. And now that they've established themselves in essence as a global powerhouse, and now they get a guy who costs nothing. Like the crazy thing about Roki Sasaki, if you haven't heard yet, he came to the majors in essence a year early. If he waited a year, he would go through normal free agency, where he would probably get, a 24-year-old with that level of talent. Yoshi got 12 years, $325 million. Honestly, you're probably looking at more in terms of annual value. I don't know if Roki would have taken 12 years off the bat because of how talented he is. But I mean, 6-7 years, close to 300 million. That wouldn't have been out of the question. He forfeited all of that to come to the majors now. And that's probably specifically to come to the Dodgers, to see what's going on, to see Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto thrive on this team instantly, to know that he's got an entire country that's already backing this team that will continue to watch him on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel bad because of how much money he forfeited in terms of the contract itself, but assuming that he performs at the level that he's expected to, he's going to get paid at some point.
Yeah.
This was a player coming over where, in essence, you can get him at 6 years for almost league minimum. You throw in that international bonus, but then it's, in essence, a guy who's in the minors coming up as any other drafted player, any other first-round drafted player, where you're giving them a bonus right off the bat, and then they go through arbitration and everything. It is so insanely affordable that it's crazy. It is just baffling. And to get Sasaki now at this level, where the rotation already has Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell they just added, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. It's going to have Shohei Ohtani as well. Like it's really incredible. It's when we have said so many times, like, this is the golden age of Dodger baseball. I don't know. How does it get more gold than this? Like, it's just
Tanner Scott
at that point.
Tanner Scott.
Tanner Scott.
I lock that in. Tanner Scott signing with the Dodgers.
You should, yeah. If the Mets decided to turn to AJ Minter instead, the team that has an endless amount of money, like, it's probably because Scott's kind of locked up elsewhere. So you said second best Dodgers offseason. I think this is the best, honestly. Like, in terms of like overall, sure. I think just what everything that Ohtani means, like, it's hard to do that in general.
Has there been a better 4-month stretch for a team in baseball? And considering that one of those days was an actual game played, like,
Right.
the Dodgers won the World Series, had the parade, did all that, signed Blake Snell, signed Michael Conforto, who's going to be a key piece of this team, and then they signed Roki Sasaki. They did everything they've done in between that. Like,
brought back Teoscar.
Yeah.
Which even recorded since then. Yeah, that's a huge deal. Like, oh God, it's amazing.
I mean, I was mad about Bueller. I'm getting over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's just like impressive that like you just said, Beau, like, we finished the game. The Dodgers finished the game. They win the World Series. They have the parade, and then they went right back to the drawing board. They were like, we are not satisfied. And even though, yes, like, it seems as though we're going to win another World Series with the stacked roster. What did we just experience with 22 different starters having to be used throughout the season? Like, we truly don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like the teams that are like, just like the fans that are talking shit, it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, relax, like, chill, be mad. Of course, be mad. But it's like, relax. Like, you have no idea what's going to happen.
I can say confidently right now at 5:40 p.m. when we're recording this in 2025, the beginning of 2025, it's much more likely that one of the other 29 teams wins the World Series next year than it is that the Dodgers do.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have given themselves a huge head start in terms of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know I've ever seen a team win the World Series and then immediately get better after doing so. I can't tell you the last time I've seen that happen.
And to that point, and to Monse, your point earlier about dynasties are in fact good for sports. Let's think about the last 25 years in sports in general. Baseball debatably hasn't really had a dynasty since the Yankees of the 99 to 2000 that era. Sure, the Giants won 3 in 5 years. That's a debatable franchise in terms of the fact, yes, they had the championships, but also it's hard to call a team a dynasty when they literally take years off between them. Like they didn't even make the playoffs between those championships. So it was kind of a result of the system as to how they, I mean, listen, Madison Bumgarner had a generational run one series and that's all in the past. The point is, look at the sports that do have salary caps. Look at football, look at basketball, and look at what dynasties are like in those sports. We had the Warriors run in the last 25 years. You can go back to the Lakers.
More dynasties than anybody. Like
it's built with dynasties, and that's a league with a strict salary cap. Sure, there are ways to circumvent it, league minimums, whatever, with veteran minimums and all. Look at football. Football, a sport that is praised for its parity. Look at who's been in the Super Bowl just the last 5 years. It's the same teams over and over. You have the Chiefs. We're in the midst of the Chiefs dynasty. Prior to that, it was just the Patriots. These are sports with salary caps, yet they're dominated by dynasties. So this idea that somehow enforcing a cap on Major League Baseball would suddenly even the playing field out more, hard to buy that. To buy that. What would even the playing field more is a salary floor that would influence teams to actually spend money. The Miami Marlins haven't spent a dime this offseason. I have spent more money this offseason than the Miami Marlins.
You are being hunted by Major League Baseball right now. You have 10 minutes to get out of your house.
Shout out to the Athletics franchise. I don't know what city they belong to right now, but they're actually spending money, which is kind of a bummer for the city of Oakland to watch this team. They've been so mad at them for years, and suddenly they've signed multiple free agents. They're actually like paying guys reasonable salaries. Brent Rooker was kind of an underpay, but he's still got something. The point is that people who are crying for a salary cap, thinking that this would fix these sort of issues that kind of exist in their head. The Dodgers just won a World Series in 2024. Yes. But if you see them as such a problem in the sport, then that means you also recognize that the 2020 World Series was legitimate, which you are the same people. If we have a Venn diagram, the people who are complaining about the Dodgers ruining baseball because of money are the same people who claim that 2020 wasn't legitimate. So make up your mind. You just don't like the Dodgers. That's simple. And that's fine. Like I said, if I wasn't a Dodger fan, I wouldn't like them. But you kind of have to at some point sit back and say, all right, hey, we're just straight up getting beat because these guys know what they're doing. They scouted Roki Sasaki for years. I think even if they didn't have Ohtani and Yamamoto, he would have still been a Dodger. Like they were so prepared for this. They've been invested in him. They've been investing in the guys that they have invested in for years. These are guys that they've been scouting for a long time. They set themselves up for success. At some point, you just kind of have to put your hands up and say, all right, hey, game recognized game.
Well, and like people want to cry about a dynasty or whatever, like they're ruining baseball and it's not fun to watch, blah, blah, blah. The only reason anybody watches like when there are dynasties is to hope they lose. You cannot sit here and tell me that all these guys that are crying right now, all these people that are complaining right now about the Dodgers ruining the sport are not going to be glued to their TVs hoping that the Dodgers lose in October. Like they're going to be doing that, hoping that they lose in April. Yeah. So like, I don't buy that at all. And like the other thing too is like like you were saying about the Venn diagram, like the square doesn't serve, or the circle doesn't square, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. You cannot sit there and tell me the Dodgers are ruining baseball. But then every time I look at baseball memes, I have to see like, the 120 win Dodgers against the 85 win Padres and the power of friendship. Like you can't, that doesn't compute. The math doesn't math. Like you have to pick one. They're either unbeatable and it ruined the sport, or they're going to lose to an 85 win wild card. Like which one is it?
Yeah. It's so funny because you said people are going to watch just to see if the Dodgers lose. Oh, I did that for years with the Lakers. I just wanted to see them lose. I was watching every Lakers game until the end of time. It actually, like, when the Lakers started sucking, it sucked for me because I was like, well, I hate a team that sucks. That's not fun. So I'm all about this, but like, I also am for a salary cap, just saying, but I don't think it would change anything. Just like to your point, Ryan, it's not going to change anything. If you want to add a salary cap, by all means, do it. The reality is that there are tons of owners who just are fine going through the motions. And don't get mad that the Dodgers owners and, you know, the team are not okay with going through the motions. That's really what it comes down to. And a lot of people might be saying, like, you only got him because of Ohtani. And it's like, okay, sure, probably. I do think Ohtani is the big reason why this is happening. But what are you going to do? The Angels didn't, you know, squeeze the juice out of the Ohtani that they could have. We're squeezing all the juice out of Ohtani that we can. Mm-hmm. And if he is the reason, then so be it. I mean, like, all right, who else can we get because of Ohtani? Bring it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that teams are mad at the Dodgers or the Mets for spending money in the offseason and not, you know, the Padres who have spent like $1 million this offseason.
Also, right.
The Pirates who have spent $8 million this offseason. Like the Cardinals, the Marlins, the Brewers, the Twins, the Padres, they have not signed anybody. They've not spent any money this offseason. And those owners all like that. They're totally fine with that. And like Ryan was saying, if there was a salary floor, then, you know, it wouldn't be that big of an issue. Like if you want a salary cap, I'm fine with that. Owners that are smart, teams that are smart, they can circumvent it if they want to. Mm-hmm. Like newsflash, I don't think Tom Brady was taking pay cuts every single year of the Patriots and not getting that money back somewhere else. Mm-hmm. John Elway was circumventing the cap the entire time he was in Denver. Smart teams figure out how to do it. It doesn't matter. But the salary floor, you're never going to see that because these owners are all cheap. And they know that the fans of the sport are going to blame the big teams that spend money and not the little teams that don't.
You know, you brought up the Pirates, and it was like, didn't it just happen at the end of the season that they DFA'd, cut Rowdy Tellez? Is that the right?
Yes.
Tellez,
yes. Rowdy Tellez. Yeah.
Because he needed 4 more at bats to get some sort of huge incentive, and so they cut him. You're like, what? Like, and that's the problem. It's like that's the problem you should be mad at. That right there. You know what I mean? And then in the NFL, you're literally like, hey, I'm going to throw you the ball. Mike Evans, 1 more. You need 1 more because I can get you that incentive. But in baseball, it's like not like that. And it's kind of like frustrating, even for non-Pirates fans. When I saw that, I was like, that sucks. That sucks.
It's awful. It's awful. And I don't remember what the rationale was, but even there was no rationale defending it. Like it was and obviously it was going to look terrible the second that got out there. And that's a team not playing for anything. Like, what are they doing that last week? They like, are you kidding me? Like, just let the guy, what you somehow you're a third string first baseman who was in AAA for the season. Like that one game is now going to make a gigantic difference moving forward. No, you're screwing over a veteran here by withholding. It was like $500,000. Like it was, which is significant for the player. Nothing for freaking Bob Nutting. Like it's God.
Bob Nutting is worth $1.1 billion.
Yeah.
And like and like Monse was saying, like in the NFL, even if Mike Evans hadn't gotten that catch to get over the 1,000 yards or whatever, like if that was an incentive, teams would just pay it. They would just go write the contract and they'll rewrite it, pay him the money because they got close enough. It doesn't matter. You would never see that from the cheapest owners in baseball. You just wouldn't. Never. Flat out. They would go rewrite the contract to take money away from the player for not meeting that goal. Like it's the cheap owners and the cheap teams that are the problem. That's the issue here. It's not the Dodgers. Like what is it really like fuck the Dodgers because they've created this organization that players want to go to? Like, is that really what it is? Like at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just your other teams could do this. Like nothing is stopping. You could all these teams could easily like, you know, make themselves better, but they choose not to because they don't want to spend the money to do it.
And in terms of like what this means for baseball with Sasaki joining the Dodgers, we just had a World Series that rated incredibly well with the Yankees Dodgers and rated even better in Japan. Japan is a country that absolutely loves baseball. They are so excited that their stars are getting this level of exposure and playing at this level. What is better for baseball than having all of these guys on the same team that's an incredibly significant international brand? Like this is the Japanese market is so excited about this. And that is great for Major League Baseball because reminder everyone, Major League Baseball is not just for the United States. It is supposed to be the best league in the world and it's supposed to represent the best competition in the world in this sport. This is when you're able to market the league internationally at this level, that is a huge win. It's great for the league.
And does anyone know where the season starts next year? Does anyone remember where the season starts?
It starts
Japan.
in Japan, right?
Yeah, Cubs
Yeah.
Dodgers in Japan.
Because they did Korea last year, and now which is going to be insane. Like that's those games are going to be gigantic. Let's we just wanted to get our quick reactions out there for you. We're live, which is a ton of fun.
I just have one more thing. Jim Bowden, he was on Foul Territory, I think, something like that. And he was saying that GMs believe that the league will launch an investigation of the Dodgers because everybody believes there was an under the table deal. Jim Bowden also reported that the Dodgers shouldn't be looked at as favorites and that 5 other teams had a legitimate chance to sign him. And then Bob Nightingale just said that Major League Baseball looked into it and they didn't find anything. So if there's any wonder why Jim Bowden doesn't have a job in baseball anymore, there you go. It's right there.
Also, if you think that no team is doing sneaky shit under the table, you're an idiot. They're all doing it. They're all doing it. It's just some are more successful than others. Like, shut up. What are we talking about? And also, yes, don't put them as favorites. Nobody cares about it. Dodgers don't care about that. They don't care about that. They're like, just wait and see. But everybody does sneaky shit under the table. Shut up.
I loved the Bob Nightingale tweet last week about the Padres being cautiously optimistic that they had a chance to land Sasaki. Yeah. And I would hope so because they were one of 3 finalists. So you would have to be cautiously optimistic. You have probably 33% chance at that point of signing the guy. So that sounds about right. Yeah.
Hector Gomez, who is a Spanish baseball reporter, like covers the league, but is like a Spanish dude. He tweeted, he was like, the Blue Jays really thought they like had a chance like 24 hours ago. They like were trying, and it's like, yeah, I'm sure the last 3 teams felt that. Of course they did.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, I would exactly.
Look, good on the Blue Jays for trying. I just hope that they're going to continue trying by maybe paying Vlad Guerrero to keep him. But it doesn't sound like that's something that's going to happen there. Obviously, as famously, the Blue Jays were in on Ohtani. They're trying. They're trying, but I would like to see them try by paying the stars that that fan base already loves and are guys who they want to build their team around. Vlad's a hometown guy. He was born in Canada, so hopefully the Blue Jays do right and pay Vlad and just write it off as like, oh well, we were gonna pay Roki eventually. They weren't, but they can pretend like they were going to. So pay that money, keep Vlad around. You don't have to lock up Bichette. You can move him for parts. That's fine. But at least build around one of your guys here, because that's a team that had a great young core a couple years ago, and it just hasn't worked as well as they had hoped. But Vlad should be the centerpiece of that franchise. So, this is very exciting. Roki, just a quick. By the way, none of us we've seen Roki Sasaki pitch in the World Baseball Classic. He pitched in the semifinal in 2023. Bless you. Bless you. But we haven't, he hasn't pitched in the majors before, so you haven't seen much of him. This is a guy whose fastball sits around 98. It's considered top level. Scouts have said that basically he's got number 1 upside, that he's going to be a top end starter. He's got an elite splitter. He has an above average slider, which I would imagine coming to the Dodgers, that's suddenly going to become an elite slider because that's what the Dodgers do.
That's what they do.
So this is incredibly exciting. It allows them to just go with a 6-man rotation from the get go. It might honestly, I genuinely don't know. I haven't seen
the majors.
That's the thing. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts in the minors, but something interesting. Future Dodgers had retweeted this into my timeline. Remember that there's the new kind of incentive in order to fix the situations where teams would keep their top prospects in the minors to manipulate service time. So the incentive for that is if they actually don't do that, they get awarded with draft picks. Well, Roki Sasaki is coming over as a minor leaguer. So if he does win a Rookie of the Year or wins a Cy Young in his first 3 years, the Dodgers would get an extra draft pick out of that because they would they're not holding him back, which is just an extra cherry on top to this whole situation, that the Dodgers would actually be rewarded for having Roki Sasaki in their rotation.
Dodgers are playing chess. Everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah.
That seems that way.
Yeah. That's it. It is as simple as that. So this is very exciting. It's something that we as Los Angeles kind of needed. These last couple of weeks here in LA have been rough for a lot of us. So we're sending our thoughts and prayers out to everybody who has been affected by the various fires. It's been tough. You know, we've all been okay, but we know people who either have lost homes or were incredibly close to losing a home. It's been a wild one these last couple days or last couple weeks. Looks like we're kind of out of the woods now, but so a big shout out to Shohei, to Freddie Freeman, to the Dodgers organization for donating a whole lot of money in these relief efforts for all the families that have been affected. We hope you who are watching this or listening, hopefully you weren't affected, and if you weren't, we're definitely thinking about you, and we hope everything gets better. I'm sorry. Anything else, guys? Anything else as we wrap up here?
I loved that he's the one who broke the news, because I broke the news at Fox Sports Radio, but it was like it first came out that they were like, he posted it, and then I was like, where? On Instagram? And I couldn't find him because he doesn't spell his name Roki. It's Rouki. And then there it was, and a picture of a Dodgers hat sitting at top deck. And I was like, oh, I love that he's the one who said it, that he's the one that broke the news.
Yes. Him and Ohtani.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a time. I would like to I would just like to be a fly on the wall down in San Diego right now. Look at what's happening between one of the three people that claim they own the team.
Yeah.
When do you think the moment they were cooked was? It's either the funeral or the lawsuit. Like that's
probably the, I don't know. It's been they have been going through it. That's
so funny.
Padres fans are falling apart, and tough scene.
Have a normal one online.
Well, this is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. My name's Ryan Bershinger. She's Monse Bolaños. He's Beau Benson. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter at SickPodDodgers. We thank you all, and we will catch you again next time. Domo arigato, everyone. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.